Morning, Abotai. Just as we have to be careful of chametz itself on Pesach, we also have to be careful of chametz absorptions, which means that we have to make sure that our kitchens are ready for Pesach, because throughout the year, different appliances and utensils, silverware in the kitchen are bolea chametz. The most important things, because Baruch Hashem nowadays, most people either use disposables or have a different set of dishes and silverware for Pesach, so that's wonderful. But there are certain things in the kitchen that you really can't avoid kashering, which are oven. We'll start with a bunch of different things, but the oven and the stove for now. The oven is pretty easy. Most newer ovens have a self-clean feature. Self-clean is considered libun chamur. It torches it. It gets it up to almost 1,000 degrees. That is considered the highest form of kashering. There's no preparation necessary. All you need to do is hit that button, let it run a cycle. If you can choose the amount of time, sometimes it gives you 3, 4, 5 hour cycles. Even 2-hour cycle is fine too if you can do that. A self-clean cycle like that, libun chamur, everything is kosher, that's fine. By the way, interesting thing that you can do is take the grates from the stove type, the chatzubot, that's the square or rectangular metallic pieces on the stove, and stick them in there. That koshers them as well. So that's with regards to a self-cleaning oven. Many ovens don't have a self-clean feature. So over there, what you'll need to do, Maran Zichron Bracha says, not as good, but it works as well, is number one, clean the oven very, very well. There can't be any residue. Sometimes you have to use these sprays, whatever it is, to get off all the stains, all of the gunk, all of the grease. So you have to use that. Clean the oven, leave it unused for 24 hours, and then fire it up to the highest temperature. On non-self-cleaning ovens, usually that's 550 degrees Fahrenheit. You heat it up to that, leave it like that for about an hour or so, and that is kasher lePesach. That's with regards to the oven. With regards to the stovetop, listen carefully. As we spoke about before, there's something called the grates. The chatzubot, it's where the pots sit on top of the stove. According to the Rama, in Siman Tafnun Aleph, those grates require libun. You have to fire them up. The Magen Avraham explains that that's because sometimes chametz splashes on. The Rama was concerned about that, and therefore he writes that for Ashkenazim, you require libun. Many Achronim disagree with him, Moruk Tzi'ah and others. Le'alacha u'ma'aseh, Maran Zichron Bracha says, it does not require libun. Like we said, if you want to stick it into self-clean, that's good according to all opinions, but it doesn't need that. According to the letter of the law, you do not need to fire it up, you do not need to torch it. All you need to do is either do hag'alater, if you have a big enough pot to stick that in, even half and half. Hag'ala is boil up a pot of water, and when it reaches an aggressive boil, dip it in for a few seconds. However, if that's not possible, all you need to do is take it out, put it in the sink, and pour boiling hot water from a kettle, from an electric kettle onto that, or from a pot of boiling water onto that, and it is kasher according to Maran Shulchan Aruch. Now, don't forget, besides for the grates, on the stovetop, you have the surface area. Surface area also has to be kashered, because it's very difficult to kasher it. Some people cover the surface area with aluminum foil, and then make holes, obviously, for the gas burners or whatever burners you're using. But, meikar hadin, you don't need to put aluminum foil. That's a good thing, but you don't need to. You can also take boiling water and pour it on very carefully, obviously, you don't want to get it into the holes where the burners are. Pour it very carefully along the surface area of the stovetop, and then it'll be kasher. If it's a glass stovetop, L'da'at Maran Shulchan Aruch, glass does not require kashering. And therefore, all you need to do is wipe it down very well, scrub it down, make sure there's no tangible residual chametz, and then that is kasher. But if it's metal or any other substance, you will need to kasher it in the method we said before by pouring boiling hot water. Either that, or you'll need to cover it with aluminum foil in order to avoid contact with that surface area over Pesach. Have a wonderful day.